Alright, everybody, I just got done reading The Black Eyed Peas Presents The Master of the Sun. I got this last night at Sundance Film Festival. Got to check out the VR experience of The Masters of the Sun. It's also available as an app, as like I think a comic book app. Got the book last night, read through it, and I see the direction that they wanted to go in, and I am sadly dismayed about the way that it went. I think that the book was trying to show that the power of love into creating music and generating love and sisterhood and brotherhood saves the day. In this book, there's a lot of guns, violence, killing people. In the book, it states that the main character, Zulu X, when talking to one of the main villains, Apep, says, "I know the pen is mightier than the sword, but but today we're going to measure the sword. The sword is being measured in millimeters, and I have a 9mm that's greater than a ballpoint pen." As he goes in and starts shooting people. You have your main characters here. There's a man named Big AP who gets a giant gun that turns into a gun hand. You have your bodyguard, this like great little character here called Emirati, who uses these blades. And then you have your main good guy, Master Sun, who literally turns himself into a weapon, a spear, so that they can join forces. These three weapons can join forces to destroy their main villain, Amun Ra, who is going in and trying to suck the souls out of people, turning them into husks of people, which I did enjoy that, like, that drugs are turning people into husks of themselves, are diminishing their soul and their creativity. And you have your main good guy, Master Sun, who is preaching to your group of heroes to love is counteractive of violence, is love, and you get to make music instead of noise. Literally turns himself into a spear to be used to kill your main bad guy, right? And because he has turned himself into a spear, he can no longer save the life of the love interest, Lady Nyx, at the end of the book. And because he turned himself into a weapon, he cannot heal. Like, he can't use his abilities to heal her, and she dies. Like, she dies. And for a book preaching about love and the unity of love and like getting together and bringing the Bloods and the Crips together, and showing that we can all be brothers and sisters. And I love this line here. But from the ashes we rose again, unified, one tribe, one nation, an American nation, a human nation, black, brown, yellow, red, white, side by side as brothers and sisters, even Crips and Bloods side by side. The man tries to divide and conquer, but we only rise up stronger time and time again. Beautiful line. I love the line. Love the intention behind that line. I just don't understand how the book can defeat the villain using weapons to kill him. Like, don't understand that book. Don't understand it at all. So you have this book that's really being a social commentary around the drug issues, that the government is putting drugs into our youth as being addicted to them, and that it's wrong. This is a social commentary on crack in the 80s in LA and how that was dividing the black nation, which is super strong and able to bring creativity, culture, love, and understanding through music and art and self-expression. And I would have really loved this book to have used that. To have used that love and self-expression instead of like always shooting up zombie people with guns and slicing them up with swords and making themselves into these mecha people, like these superhero people. I would have really liked to have seen maybe some of our characters that go through the most pain in this book. Mainly Jimmy Guapo, who loses his best friend middle of the book, which he has the most character development in the whole book, which is nice because he's kind of our lead person, comic relief / like you get to attach to him as the viewer because everyone else in this book are like superheroes. Zulu X is getting guns pointed at him, zombies coming at him, like all this shit's hitting him. It's not even phasing him. You got Big AP, who is just like this mega guy who can just fucking rip doors off of cars. Like he's a superhero. Like he has super strength. And like he's almost nigh invulnerable and really doesn't see the danger in most things. You have your main character, your main female lead, Lady Nyx, who is also like really like she's getting in between the Bloods and the Crips. She's like, stop killing each other, guys. We gotta unify each other. I mean, she's really in the face of danger. And then you have your obvious superheroes who are the aliens, Master Sun and Emeriti, who come down and they have space weapons and stuff, and they're all your superheroes. And then you have your Jimmy and Paolo, who are kind of the comic relief / like, hey, I can relate to them because I am not a fucking superhero. Like, nobody who reads this book is gonna be a superhero. So they're the only ones that we get to attach to. They do some really silly things, but you have your main character, Jimmy, here, who definitely has some trials and tribulations inside the book. You have your Lady Nyx over here who suffers and has backstory on how her father's murdered and how her father being murdered by somebody dressed up as a Crip caused a lot of violence to happen inside the community. Her trying to bring the community together, have peace and that strife that's in there. And I would have really loved this book to, instead of using the god gift laser beams, swords, and spears to bring down our main villain, Amun-Ra, to have had like kind of like a concert or something. I would have loved to have seen, Zulu X and Big AP, who are like gods amongst themselves, to draw out maybe these people from the lair. I would have loved to have seen this lair like explode and Amun-Ra coming at the city, and the city getting together and like plugging in all of their AP units and just having all of like the sound systems pointed at the like maybe you could have had Lady Nyx and Jimmy like gather the community and be like, we have to protect our homes from this destruction, and these people want to suck out our souls. Like, and then the concert could have been like Jimmy and Lady Nyx coming to terms or expressing their pain and how they've been wronged. And instead of bringing it out in violence, bringing it out in song, and then maybe rapping about it or having this meld of like a poetry that gets blasted at the noise, which is what these people are representing. The noise and the hate is being brought over by love and compassion, and that's being conveyed because the community gets together and like blasts them with sound in the resonance of how they're expressing their emotions of hate and disgust and like trauma, to be able to turn that into sound and have that sound reverberate a sense of love and community and connection, and to hit them with that, and that would be the thing that like shrinks down their power or something, that they're sucking up all this power because people are they're causing destruction in the community, and that's how they're getting more powerful. So maybe like sucking that out, and then having your Master the Sun, who is an alien, like who's been tracking them for thousands of years, tracking Apep and Amun-Ra for thousands of years, to actually be able to capture them and to bring them to like space prison or something, or bring them into like some kind of justice system that works for them, or like or because they can take out that negativity from them, that they become something different, that your main villains become some kind of an ally, or at least like a neutralize them and become a character. I would have loved to have seen that. And that's really my critique on this book. It's like, you have a great atmosphere for this creativity and love and vibrations to triumph all, but even the main one of the main villains, Apep, tries to tell our main hero that that he goes, so your main hero is blasting him with this laser beam, and it says, I'm going to send you back to that empty place, you tone-deaf motherfucker. And he says, it can't be. How can you see through the multiverse? Only the Emperor can see through time and space. Calling your main character, Zulu X, the fucking Emperor. Okay, like, that he's powerful, and the Emperor has been built up to the only person that can defeat this evil in the fucking universe, right? And he goes, Emperor, nah, I'm Zulu X, and I'm the motherfucker that's just gonna kick your ass, bitch. Why, book? Even the villain sees the greatness in Zulu X, and Zulu X still denies that greatness by kicking his ass. Even the fucking main villain tries to get across that he is a powerful man, and he is the Emperor. He is the person that can defeat the biggest evil that has ever come down onto our planet. And our main character denies that greatness. I don't like that. So, love you guys. I'd love to see more work around this concept. And thank you so much for the listen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really love the concept. I fucking love the concept. I want it to be like, I want the concept to work. I want love and peace and like connection and vibrational charge content by people who are great, the Black Eyed Peas, that people who are great artists. And I don't understand why I gotta fucking deal with people turning their arms into fucking guns. You know that guy is gonna have a really rough time cutting into a steak later that night. Like, let's celebrate. And it's like, oh shit, my hand's a fucking gun now. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? Doesn't make any sense. So, oh, and I want to read the last page of the book. It's awesome. It says, we went from African auctions to affirmative actions. It's apparent they hated our parents because of their black skin. I question our actions and I ask what we're doing. Our ancestors pass on a fight that we aren't pursuing. We went from Africans chained up to African Americans locked up. It's apparent that the cops in our neighborhood are trained to get us shot up. I question our reaction, and I ask why we are distracted. Our ancestors fought till they were freed, while we just adapt and adopt today's masters. We hustle and gain no wealth. We wrestle like wrestlers and crumble with bad health. We're caught up in the struggle with the knowledge of itself, We don't want leaders to lead us, but we're quick to follow everyone else. Our daily fights are quickly defeated. Our daily egos that disconnect us should be depleted, because social media activism will one day be deleted. The revolution is not a revolution if the revolution is only tweeted and retweeted. This is a book about activism, about standing up for what you believe in. And what these artists believe in is obvious. They believe in a united community where people can get along and create and love each other. And I don't know why they use this medium to put in more hatred. And that's what I gotta say about that.